Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochek, a rather impromptu, but we're on. The Sri Lanka, more so India versus Sri Lanka match is about to be, this is the first of the T20 internationals, is only a matter of some half an hour away. We're going to be able to see, in fact, what the story is regarding the tosses. I'm sure whether it's probably already been done now. Let's have a look. So how are we all today? Impromptu as it was, the Sri Lanka India match has not begun yet. Of course, it's the first T20 yet again at RPS. We're a bit earlier than expected. The scheduled time of this is actually 11 o'clock, so 11:05. So we'll just have a look at a bit of a preview which is going on. Sri Lanka's best bet, of course, is the spin department. And against the Indian IPL superstars. So that's kind of the way it's been touted. This will be an extremely heavy built situation. In fact, we've got quite a bit of time before the match is actually on. The match is actually on at 12:30 as opposed to 11:30. So I'm on very early, guys, but we'll have a bit of a chat about a few things actually. And I'll try and drum up some people to come along as well. As you know, the whole Sri Lanka-India series has been rather disappointing because of the players that are available. But obviously, so the hosts have lost all but one of their 13 completed T20 internationals. So that's an interesting stat. I'm not sure whether that necessarily reflects from the fact that I shall be a chef, whether that in fact reflects from the ground itself, whether it's the Sri Lankan pitches. But I find that rather remarkable. It's rather good, isn't it, in a way? But I'm just going to get a hold of a few people. Because we certainly do want to. I've come a little bit early because I thought it was on. I've got the time wrong a little bit, but that's all right. We're just going to get up some people here. So how are we all? We obviously had, Australia has won a gold, silver and a bronze medal. Also, Australia had India's playing 11. Well, we don't know that just yet. It's a bit early. It's conversation piece, which will be interesting because whether Prithvi Shaw is going to be there. Of course, Prithvi Shaw is not expected to be there at this point. He's supposed to be flying directly from, I believe, directly from Sri Lanka straight to England, as a matter of fact, which is quite an interesting turn of events, actually. Where did I get that World Test Championship? I was meant to get the whole lot sent to me before the actual tournament started, and it only got it a few days ago. So effectively, I had to wait over a month for a match that started on June 18th. So that was rather frustrating indeed. So we're going to be able to have quite a long chat here today because the game's not starting until 8 p.m. and it's currently, what time is it in? It's currently just on 6:36 in India. Oh, and also it's starting in Sri Lanka. I mean. Aussies are the number one hockey team. Australia is the number one hockey team. What is the standings in the Olympics? Well, the Olympic standings, we'll get to that. I'll have a look at that. Because I do think that China's ahead already. Japan's up there. America's up there. Australia's about 5th, as far as I'm aware. I actually do have that table this one. Let me just get some people up. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just going to live. Okay. Invite a guest. There we go. I'm just getting a few guests up, guys. Yeah, so we got a game obviously there. I'm just having to get my little thing out there. I had a fair bit of success actually today. India's going to go down, I guess. Why would you think that? Against the India. What time actually, Shabir Sheikh, when is that Australia-India match between the two? The one that I'm talking about, the Australia are playing India in the hockey Olympic match. So if we could just go on to that, that'd be good. Okay, I was going to get a few people up. Getting Malawi. Let's see what they want to see on. I have to also get some. So yeah, there's a fair bit of discussion about the way in which this series will go. Of course, Australia have done very well in hockey. Yes. So Shabir, your guess is you're telling me, please, the times, and I'll be able to relay the times of it when that's happening. That would be quite useful for me. So I'm going on a bit early, guys. That's all right. That's all right. Never hurts. Aussies won a comfortable in hockey 7-1. You're talking about? Are you talking? Or what are you talking about there? Are you talking about the game against India, or are you talking generally? I'm not sure whether that's specifically. I have actually 7 Sports update here. Let's see whether that's got it on there. Medal tally normally shows on that. Let's have a look. No, that's the Armchair Critics one. The medal tallies. Look at the medal tallies. There's usually a medal tally somewhere. Okay, let's have a. So, guys, you got to help me because I'm not fully au fait with that just yet. I'm just going to try and work out the Olympic medal tally. Here we go. That's not it. Olympic medal tally. Okay, so at this point in time, we have China with 6 gold, 1 silver, and 4 bronze. Japan with 5 goals, as in gold medals, 1 silver and no bronze. They've got 6 in total. USA started their merry way. They've got 4-2-4, 4 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze for 10. South Korea is actually in 4th with 2 golds and 3 silvers, 3 bronze, I should say. And then ROC, and I still haven't got, who's ROC? They've got 1. Italy's got 1. Australia's in 7th, equal 7th with France. They've got 1 of it, all colours. And India, let me see where India were doing pretty well at one stage there. They're very high up because they're coming 24th. They're still only having won the 1 silver medal. So there you go. So Australia won against India in hockey 7-1 today. Well, that's pretty interesting how I thought India were a bit better than that. In fact, Pakistan are generally very good as well. So yeah, that's interesting to say. So we'll have a lot more on regarding potential Olympics discussions as well. Just trying to see also Monty, David. I'm just going to see whether we've got Richard. So Chris Vernon is out. Now, he shouldn't be out because he had a dose of the, Watts that basically said that he should have been. And I'm looking at, we've got Saban here as well. And let me just quickly find Sadat. Just good to see whether he's available. Trying to find Marcus Vern. There we are. So Munchie and okay. So where is India? Where is India on the Olympics table? India are 24th. Australia is currently 7th with 1 gold, 1 silver, and bronze. But China, Japan because it's home venue, of course. USA, as always, South Korea, and ROC. Well, what does ROC stand for? I still don't know what ROC stands for. Okay. Russia is calling themselves ROC, Russian Olympic Committee. So okay, now I know what ROC stands for. ROCK is Russian Olympic Committee, which is one that's called Russia, for God's sake. So again, China are currently China are 6 gold, 1 silver, and 4 bronze, which is 11 medals. Japan has 5 gold, 1 silver, and no bronze, with 6 medals in total. USA, which is not as big as what I would have first thought, they got 4 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze, with 10 medals. South Korea, 2 gold, 3 bronze, and 5 medals in total. And Russia has got 1 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze, with 7 in total. Italy has 1, 1, 3, with 5 in total. Then comes Australia with France with 1 medal apiece, all 3 categories, gold, silver, and bronze. India is 24th overall, correct. So, yeah, there's been a fair bit of action. I mean, the Australians, our Ash Barty, who just won the the Wimbledon final, which is a fantastic big deal, having matched Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley from some, last time she won was 71 and 80, being Indigenous, and so is Ash Barty. So they both have been very impressive, and they both, but unfortunately, Ash Barty went out in the first round against a Spanish player. So she's out of it. She's in the doubles still. But yeah, Republic of South Korea. There's only South Korea. The Republic. When you say Republic of South Korea, you mean South Korea. Okay, fine. Then you got teams like Austria, Hungary, Tunisia. Tunisia won a gold medal. Had an 18-year-old out of the blue who won a gold medal there. Quite shocked. It was actually meant to be an Australian who got the silver, but that team come through. Iran had originally an early gold. Kosovo as a country. Thailand, Uzbekistan, Canada, Netherlands, Brazil, Great Britain, Indonesia, Serbia, Chinese Taipei, which is effectively Taiwan, Belgium, Bulgaria, Colombia, Spain. In fact, India's just dropped one. Spain, India's tied with Belgium, but Bulgaria, Colombia, Spain, who has a silver there at the moment, and Romania are all tied in. Germany, surprisingly, at this early stage, or it is early, have won 2 bronze, and they're actually sitting at 31st. Have not won a gold medal yet. The team normally gets up there. Switzerland's on 35th. So it looks like 35, in fact, 35, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But 35, 6 or 7 countries are actually locked on 35th, 35. So 35, 36 is 41 countries and 1 medals at this stage. 41. Apan says hello. Okay, so that's the Olympics. But the actual, so Marcus Lawrence and Richard Verne, they should be joining us at some stage later. Have a look who else is going to hear. In the shop. I'm not at home right now. She's at the shops. But there we got Monty Panasars, lots of increases. No, so that's basically it at this stage. Yeah, there's no issue as far as the overall situation is. Barty was knocked out. Yes, she was. Ash Barty, unfortunately, knocked out first round by a Spanish player. It was 50 degrees on the court. I'm by no means saying that was, anything to worry about. She was used to hot conditions, so she can't complain about that. That's for sure. As far as today's game is concerned, I don't know whether we can say conclusively that Sri Lanka's got any chance at all. In fact, Sri Lanka should be soundly beaten by India today. As I'll read some of the things that's been said already. Spin is Sri Lanka's best bet against India's IPL superstar. The hosts have lost all but one of their last 30 completed T20I. So that's pretty impressive from Sri Lanka's perspective. But effectively, you would imagine India's side with the likes of Shikhar Dhawan. Now, whether Prithvi Shaw plays is unsure, but Gaikwad, they've got Galtham, they've got Ishan Kishan. Kuldeep Yadav should still be in the mix. Bhuvi Kumar, where the Padakollas. Now, at this stage, Prithvi Shaw seems to be either has gone or is going to England to join the test squad in place with the likes of Washington, Sundar, Avrish Khan, and it could even be Shubman Gill, could all be out. I'm getting the feeling that Shubman Gill is also out for the whole series, at least for a certain part of the series. So Devdutt Padikkal is also meant to be going with Prithvi Shaw, and potentially there was Sky Kumar, but I'm not sure the Sky Kumar was going at this stage. You've got Chakravarti playing here. Pretty sure his name's Sanju Samson, whether he'll go Sakurai. Bowled okay the other day. Nitish Rana might be in there. Pandya brothers, Pandey, Padikal. It's going to be interesting to see who India opens at the batting with. You would argue that umpires Kumar Dharmasen, I've got my good mate, with Ravindra Wambalasiri, TV umpire Ruchira Paliguruj, and Lyndon Hannibal as a reserve umpire match referee Ranjan Madagali, very commonly put there. See, so you're saying he's out of the series, he's already at Chandigarh, he's home. Are you saying Kuldeep? Now, who are you saying, Arpan? Who are you saying? Because they're going to go, okay. They will go after the T20 series, Norman. Okay, but who is out of the series? He's already in Chandigarh. He's home. Who is that? Is that Shubman Gill, or who are you talking about there? Arpan and Padigal Shubman Gill is already back in Chandigarh. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was already back. So if he's already out, then Prithvi Shaw's going to be well. You would Mayank Agarwal will get it Guernsey in the first test then with Robert Sharma's opener, and they'll bring Prithvi Shaw into the mix and Padikal perhaps as well. Okay. So Darwin and Shaw obvious openers today, yes. So my prediction for today's match. Look, if India don't absolutely looking back to the ODIs for a moment, India won the first two matches quite handsomely, and then they experimented with their batting and more. So their bowling up to the third and lost. Okay, but for the T20 internationals, this is extremely important. One of the few matches they'll have before they go into the IPL and also the World Cup. So you would imagine that they'll be at all guns blazing, and India will absolutely smash them, even more so than the ODIs. Padigal should play at 3 if Prithvi Shaw's available, and so Gill has returned to again. Okay. All right, I didn't know that. Okay. So yeah, Norman, why do seasoned pros often get out at an early stage Olympics? We have seen that so many times because they are experienced. Obvious. Well, look, let's look back at a moment at, especially when there's a tournament of the nature of Wimbledon. Now, the last match that good old Ash Barty played was the Wimbledon final, the crescendo of her career, the biggest moment, the biggest climax of her career. She's number one in the world. Even though a gold medal in the Olympics is a big deal, there's a mental and physical letdown, and she just looked like she had 55 errors in that match. Clearly, she probably had a bit of a break from playing, relaxed, and therefore was not at her peak, mentally and physically down, as in down from a very big high. That's probably why. But she's still in the doubles and mixed, I think, and women's doubles. So she'll get medals there, but she's missed out on the singles. Another girl was just more ready. She was totally, utterly pumped, knowing she had to perform at the highest point. She did, ranked 45th in the world or something. And Barty just was down. I think Serena Williams also failed. Or there's been quite a few male and female tennis players and other players that do fail in the Olympics. You're right. I think Federer and the like had trouble as well. Yeah, so Australia won by 7-1 from India. And hockey, hot. The Australians are pretty damn good. They take the Olympics extremely seriously. We won the 2032 bid, as you know. That's another thing. Oh, so we have got. You've jumped on. I thank you. I've changed that though. How are you?
Nice to see you, Norman. Sorry, I didn't know you were on today. You didn't message to say you were on.
Well, I was actually out and about, and I'd gotten the date wrong because the game actually starts tomorrow Australian time, but it's actually Indian time. So I thought it was actually tomorrow, as in a full tomorrow night. I got wrong. But anyway, the game starts at 12:30.
It's about an hour's time, I think.
So I'm actually well and truly early. Bear in mind, he's saying you're looking better. So Australia, where's England in the Olympic medals, Tully?
Well, we lost one of our better medal hopes in the taekwondo, I think, this morning. I haven't been following the Olympics, to be fair, Norman. an awful amount.
But normally you guys normally cream the
Cycling we've been good at in the last sort of decade or so. So
swimming you're pretty good at too.
Well, yeah, I think we've got Adam Peaty. I think is a good swimmer, so he might do well. And then we do usually fairly well in the water sports, don't we? At recent times in the, I know.
But you haven't got any form medal at all at this stage.
No, it's only just started though. We're only on day 2, aren't we?
Well, you normally get one early. But Australia finally got on the board. They got gold, silver, and bronze. But we're a bit sluggish as well.
Oh, Norman, let's face it, we're not going to be winning the medal table, are we? In England, we're just not. So,
but I think when England had the Olympics in London, you were geared up, home conditions, etc.
Yeah.
Same with Australia. Our best medal tally was when we had it in Sydney, and I see Japan doing well because it's at home. Yeah. So that's kind of all expected. I found there's a funny abbreviation. Right?
We had a golden night, didn't we, in London 2012? There was a Saturday night where we won three medals. Greg Rutherford and the runner, I can't remember her name. It was a good night. That was and there was a lot of people watching. It was good for national fervour.
But the thing is, there's an abbreviation ROC, and I thought, who the hell's that? Do you know who ROC is?
Well, only because I've been watching your excellent show, Norman. So I think it's probably Russia.
Because I told you. That's right.
You did.
Yeah. So Russia Olympic Committee. What a weird. Why don't you say Russia?
Well, I assume they've been banned, have they? I assume Russia have been banned from the Olympics because of drug scandals, and they've allowed. I'm guessing this is pure guess. I assume the Olympic Committee have allowed a Russian entrance if they've been fully tested and cleared of any wrongdoing as far as drugs.
So are you telling me that Russia's been banned because of some sort of dope?
I don't know. I'm guessing that why wouldn't they be competing as the USSR or Russia? And if they have to compete under that banner, there must be some reason why they're out. There must be. They had loads of problems, didn't they, with drugs?
All right. So if one of our viewers connects, Baram Marani, I want you to go and Google, is Russia banned in any way because of something or another different makeup? Okay. Yes. Baram Marani say they are banned. I didn't know this. That's something. Okay.
Well, they're perennial cheaters, unfortunately. I'm sure every country is equally got some problems. I'm sure we have. I'm sure Australia have. I'd be wrong of us to say not. But Russia have taken it to another level, haven't they?
Well, but I'm just curious as to what's going on there. That's a very intriguing situation. I didn't know about that. Anyway, so that's Australia are now effectively 7th on the list, equal 7th with France. And India will go. I got a snapshot of India. They were 4th after the first few hours, so they won a medal. And it was impressive. And people were getting really upset with me saying, "Oh, you're making it up, Norman." Blah blah. They're not making anything up. So it's a full moon in Australia. I'm assuming it's a full moon in England.
Well, it's daylight here. It's the middle of the afternoon.
Okay. So it's effectively a full. So it was a full moon. I got a great.
It can't be a full moon in Australia and England, Norman. Think of the geography of that.
No. I mean, it's a full moon. You know why? Because I was clean shaven about 3 hours ago. Look at me.
Ha!
So clearly there's something not right there. Anyway, so I went out and took a live video of the moon over the sea. It was lovely.
I saw the video. It was a fairly dark affair, I've got to tell you, Norman.
So you couldn't see anything?
Well, it came out as a bit of silver in the middle of a black screen most of the video. But we got to hear your lovely voice telling us how beautiful Australia is. So
there was a house there that I was showing you that just sold for $20 million. And
I'm not sure it came out very well, Norman. I think it's probably a bit on the gloomy side.
I have to fix it because I haven't had a chance to fix it. Anyway, that's going to be interesting. So
we've got 20.
I actually thought I thought it was supposed to be 11 o'clock. My time was actually 12 o'clock. So we've got a bit of time there. But to go back to the Olympics a minute, the Australian team always does well. They do pretty well. They're in the top 10 teams generally every time. And considering pound for pound how many people we have in the country, that's a pretty damn good effort.
Yeah,
We're
proud
pretty mad
sporting
about the
nation
Olympics.
though, Norman. A proud sporting nation, the Aussies, aren't they?
But we tend to spend a bit of time and effort on it too, and a fair bit of money. I think that also helps. But China, you're talking about Russia being dubious. Aren't we a bit dubious about China? Jesus.
Yes, but we're probably more selective how much we criticise China, aren't we? There's politics at play in everything, in absolutely everything. And so maybe we're a little less ready to have a go at the Chinese than the Russians. But yeah, there's drug taking everywhere. It's not good to say just let them take as many drugs as they like and then see what happens. So
no. So what's Chris up to?
Chris has gone out. He's gone on to an adventure day on the river.
Is he up to it? Is he up to it?
He didn't. It wasn't in too well today. We didn't sound too well. He said he felt okay. They had a good win yesterday.
Against who?
They beat the Sandwich Town, who are the Kent Premier League leaders at the moment and who were unbeaten before yesterday. Played 9-1-9. So,
oh god,
a tough game. And Chris had a pretty good game. If anyone's interested,
Nabola. I don't think. Well, I didn't see the. Normally, he shows me like a highlights reel or something.
It's the full match is on there. The beautiful Ninakshi was watching as well because she messaged me to say that she was watching some of the action.
Also, it was up. It was up.
It was as a live feed. You could watch it as a live feed. So he got a couple of wickets and he got 34 runs, I think. So not too bad a day.
Okay.
Yeah, good win. A good win for Sevenoaks Fine. Interesting, the top scorer for Sevenoaks Fine yesterday, Norman, was Michael Cowdrey, who is the great nephew of Sir Colin Cowdrey.
Wow.
And the nephew of Chris Cowdrey and the son of Graham Cowdrey. It's a sporting dynasty, the Cowdreys.
So Chris played against him?
No, with him. They're in the same team.
With him? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the same. He plays for Sevenoaks Fine.
What is Control C's copy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm then Control what? Paste it.
Did you say Munchie was available today? I know he's got a big.
I've sent him a.
He could only get reception on Wi-Fi in the east wing of his estate. The signal doesn't go.
Of his estate.
Yeah. Well, when you're a multi-millionaire like Munchie, you can afford to own most of Kent.
Are you waiting for him to bite? Is that what you're waiting for?
Munchie, he bites plenty, mainly into burgers and chips. But yeah.
No. I mean, is he going to bite your comments?
I knew what you meant, Norman. I knew what you meant.
Okay. I realise that you are English and your humour can be only equaled by.
I haven't seen him put a.
I just hate that. Oh, I hate that. What happened there?
What's that?
Okay, I've just done something and I just stuffed it.
I
hate it when you. What were you saying?
Suman Ashwathi, thanks for commenting. Thanks for watching, Suman. Jemima Rodriguez.
Is something about a girl?
Was fantastic yesterday in the 100. She played a fantastic innings. She's a real talent.
Who's that?
Jemima Rodriguez. She's Indian player. She doesn't sound very Indian, but she's an Indian player. I'm sure of it. And she scored 92 from. It was about 38, 39 balls. It was a pretty quick innings yesterday.
Is the standard up though? Are the teams strong? I don't think they are. I think there's some very good players that are very strong, but I don't think the actual standard is strong. What I'm getting at is some of the batters are getting outrageously good scores.
Well, no one's got a massively outrageous score yet, I don't think, certainly in the men's game. I think the women's competition in the 100 has been very good. You can see the improvement in the women's game over the last 10 years immeasurably. The playing for the Oval Invincibles this morning, because they had a game early. The girls, a girl called Alice Capsey. She's 16, English girl. She's 16. She smacks 50 odd in 30 odd balls. And she just.
Did Shabnim Ismail play well in that match?
Sorry, say again.
Did Shabnim Nim Ismail played well. She
went down. She had to go off the field for an injury for a little bit of time, but she came back and carried on bowled her extra 5 balls. They're bowling 5 balls, not 6 balls. So
Alan Ingalls asked me, where was you? I should be mentioning the names of the other guests on his show. I do. This is Richard Vernon, Bagstead boy.
What Andrew means is he would have turned off if he'd known I was coming on, Norman. So you mustn't advertise that I'm coming on.
I apologise. Where's your name at the bottom of your screen, though?
I don't know. I haven't. I put it. There you go.
There it is. There it is.
It's that's down to the admin, Norman. That's you. You're the admin guy.
No, it was because when you press a bit of information comes off.
So did you say that Shubman Gill is out of the Test series, and they're flying in Privy Shaw?
Apparently, by what we're hearing, Shubman Gill's not just out of the Test series; he's home in Chandigarh already.
I didn't hear that.
Prithvi Shaw's been called up, and
good luck to him in a test series in England, because that's not what I would suggest his forte is at the moment. Is it Test cricket?
Prithvi Shaw.
Yeah.
Well, he was actually on the tour to Australia earlier this year. He was the first opening batter picked and didn't get a game because he blew it early on. So he isn't meant to be a Test cricketer, actually, to be honest with you. But the reality is that Mayank Agarwal will open because he is, at this point, number 2. Now, Sky Yadav was the other person, but now there's talk of Padikkal going instead of Sky Yadav, so we're not sure about that. I'm hearing some conjecture about that.
Am I not right in thinking that? It depends what you used to debate. Yeah, they are coming from Sri Lanka. I assume Sri Lanka is a red country. We have a traffic light system for our travel, Norman. And I assume if it is, they will have to do 10 days hotel isolation when they arrive.
No.
Okay, so it's not a red country then, because if it's a red country, they definitely have to do 10 days.
Well, actually, when they arrive. It doesn't matter because they're not going to be picked in the side.
No, but they're going to have to. That's what I'm saying. They won't be available for the first test. That's what I'm thinking.
No, that's true. And the reality is that they weren't to be picked in the side anyway. Does that make sense? They were not. Mayank Agarwal is there. He's picked. Washington Sundar is also injured, and so is Avrish Khan. Well, Avrish Khan was a born-up bowler at best. So the reality is,
Sundar wouldn't have got in the side anywhere near the Test side, would he? I mean, he's third behind Jadeja and Ashwin, a long way third, I would suggest. So I don't think he would ever got a look in. The way the weather is at the moment, Norman, we've had some serious rain here in the last hour, down in the south. So it's if it stays a little bit unsettled, a little bit overcast, it's going to be hard for the Indian side, I think, in the first test. But
you said that all along, didn't you? So that was going to be a test they'd have trouble winning.
Well, look, it depends on the weather, Norman, doesn't it? I mean, you know what it's like in England. You've been here more than once. You know jolly well that the weather and the overheads play a massive part in the cricket. And if it is a bit overcast at Trent Bridge or has a couple of overcast days or whatever, that means that it brings the England bowling very much to the fore.
Absolutely. No, I don't deny that. The reality is that it'll be a very fine effort for India to do well early on in the series.
They're playing at the right time for India. I mean, the weather should be pretty good in August. It will be our best month. August and early September tends to be our nicest time of the year, so that would suit them. I mean, it'd be worse if they'd played early season, if they'd had a Test series May, June, July sort of time. That wouldn't have suited them. So we'll just have to see what it happens with the weather. I mean, the pitches will play well, as you know, but they might take a little bit of with the seam bowling. It's normally the way here, a bit like when you play New Zealand.
Do you think, in your honest opinion, do you think this is going to be quite a remarkable series in the true sense of the word remarkable? Well, I'm getting at, don't you? I'm basically implying that it'll be a series where there'll be quite. I hate to say it won't match what happened in Australia. That was quite overwhelming. Losing so many players, winning against all odds. That's an extreme unlikely reoccurrence. But having said that, though, I think that the chances of it being very tense, very dour, with a fair bit of byplay I think there's a very strong likelihood.
Yeah, I think England are struggling a little bit at the moment. I was surprised by the squad. They're not going to change. They're not going to change it up. I think that's fairly interesting. I know you were saying Bairstow could come in at the top of the order. That's no chance of that ever going to happen. He's
Why?
I
don't know why you keep saying that. The man has played 74 tests.
Yeah, and as I messaged you the other day, Norman, you're not listening. In 2 test years before he was dropped, he was averaging 18. They kept him in the side. They gave him a good go, averaging 18 over 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
But he's
so
not.
You think he's
something? Look,
but hang on.
Side.
If that were the case, if that were the case, he wouldn't even be in the squad.
Well,
correct.
He got a call up last year in India, if you remember rightly, and
yes, he did.
And he batted pretty well in difficult conditions, and then they rested him. They sent him home.
They threw him in the deep end in that series. They absolutely threw him in the deep end.
I think he got a 40, maybe a 35-40. He batted pretty well. But the bottom line is he's not going to bat in the top 3. If he plays, he's going to bat 4, 5, 6, or 7 in the not 4 or 5 because those numbers are absolutely.
He scored 6 centuries. He scored 6 centuries. Didn't he score a few of them as an opener?
But we're going back. If he did, Norman, we are going back. But his time has gone as an opener. I don't see he's got.
Whether I've gone back or not doesn't mean he shouldn't be in that position. That's all I'm
telling you, Norman. He is seen generally as a one-day specialist opener now. And boy, did he bat well last night in 100. He batted beautifully. He got a 60 odd quickly, and he hits it as clean as anyone. Apart from Liam Livingstone, of course, who's now proud himself. Did you see what the reports are on that 60 hit the other night, Liam Livingstone? How far they say they think it went?
The ball that went over the roof.
Yeah, hit it out of the ground at Headingley. They said 120 metres.
That was the most monstrous. That was great vision. I love when you see a shot and you know it's special. There's only one other player that's hit a ball better than that. You know who that is?
Well, Gale used to hit it pretty special.
Gale hits plenty of them.
And De Villiers used to hit it pretty good.
Chris Lynn once pulled a ball at the Gabba that cleared the Gabba roof so well. It was the most spectacular shot I have ever seen in my life. That goes down to me as the best 6 I've ever seen. The way he hit the ball, it wasn't just timing, it was just belted time. But there's another legend in Australia about, there's a place, obviously SCG, and they have a lake called Kippax Lake. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, no.
Well, Kippax Lake is well away from the stadium, past the members stand as it stands now, and it's a dedicated lake. It's called Kippax Lake. Why? Because Alan Kippax, who played for Eastern Suburbs Cricket Club, hit the ball into that lake on the full. And if you saw where that lake is, and you see where the SCG is, you would be dumbfounded, because it clearly would have gone over the members' stand, which still exists, so you can see the trajectory where it went. It landed in an area that became this lake that was named after him. That goes down in folklore as being the most amazing 6 ever. I know it's a bit of a tale. It was back on the 19-year dot, but it's renowned for that.
The thing that with Livingstone, of course, and we're talking about 6s that are like often hook shots, pull shots, or leg side over what we used to call cow shot corner. They call it something nicer now that we used to call.
We call it cow corner.
But the commentators don't. They call it wide long on or something now, or something. The one with Livingstone,
Australians still call it cow corner.
So it's easy to hit a ball with the pace of the ball away into the leg side, but Livingstone was dead straight. He hit that ball straight back up past the bowler, and that's at 120 metres. Wow, that
was some shot. And I love the commentary on that. The way that they were absolutely gobsmacked. and because they were right
Yeah.
in the vision of it, weren't they? So
Yeah.
they,
The stands there, so they've got a fair idea how far. When it went into the football ground, did you see the tweet that the Leeds Rhinos Rugby League club put out?
the who's what the Leeds
Leeds
Rhinos.
Rhinos put a tweet out that said, "Dear neighbour," it said something like this: "Dear neighbour, we find it a little bit surprising that you've hit our ball into our backyard and didn't come and apologise, but we've left the gate open. You can come and retrieve it anytime you like."
That's funny.
It's brilliant. It was brilliant.
I'm just trying to look at what was my last prior to these two videos. I'm just doing some admin while we're here because it helps with all the connections.
So, Norman, I can bore you to death. I mean, you can get on and do other things. I'm quite happy to bore everybody. Someone's spamming on the messages.
You're doing a very good job. I'm just while you're doing this, I'm also digressing a bit and trying to work out some things which have done. Let me just have a look there.
Yeah, Andrew Ingalls said England's strength lies in their tail-enders bowlers, batting in swinging conditions. I think England are going to struggle in this Test series a little bit. I know I've said I think it's going to be 2-1 England.
Struggle in the batting, you mean?
Yeah, I was surprised Milan wasn't in the squad.
They're making it. Has he upset somebody? Because
what I told you before,
is he not a fan of someone is he not a fan of Silverwood? Because my God, he always seems to get the raw end of the deal.
I've told you before, he's not one of the loved few. I don't think he's particularly easy in a dressing room, as far as I'm aware. He's had a couple of county moves to try and brighten up his career. Normally, if you're happy in a dressing room, it people know.
Shows.
It does. It's difficult for people watching who haven't been in the dressing room environment. But yeah, it's an important thing.
Like Kevin Peterson, I guess.
Yeah, Kevin Peterson's been on the 100 summarizers, and he's been brilliant value. Very good, very, very interesting. Talks. He knows about the game. Peterson's very, very wise about cricket.
He's a very sophisticated character, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and I don't know
the
why
100 coverage has been very good. I mean, it's going down well. The first game last Wednesday, the ladies played in front of a record crowd for a domestic female competition.
What was that crowd? What was that crowd?
7,900, I think, was in the crowd for that first match. There was
forgetting that we've had 85,000 for a Women's World Cup final.
Well, yeah, but yeah, Norman, you weren't listening to what I said, because at Lords we had a 25,000 packed out for the World Cup Women's final as well. This was for a domestic game.
No.
Okay. In our country, not a lot of people always go and watch the girls play in big numbers in a domestic. But what was fantastic, the opening bats went out, Norman. This was at the Oval.
Yeah.
I think it was an Aussie opening. I think when an Aussie girl opened for the whoever she was playing for. I apologise for not knowing. And there was a massive firework display to announce the start of the tournament. And the look on her face was amazing. You should have seen it. It was brilliant. Even the commentators, the look of wonder and awe on her face as she walked out to bat. Because the Oval is one of the great grounds in world sport. I'd say. I love the Oval. I think it's a fantastic venue. And it was 7,000 people cheering. It must have been brilliant for her.
Look, there's no doubt. I mean, it's well deserved and well overdue.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line on the 100, Norman, is a few quirky things, nothing too drastic. It's cricket. It's a game of cricket. And whoever scores most runs wins. And provided the product is good, insofar as the cricket is good, then you can put all the gimmicks you like in, then it'll be popular and people will watch it. And so far, it's been good.
Yeah, I'm not about to knock it, but I'm still a bit the what's the word for it? The thought. What do you say? The decision's out on that one. Just yet. My thoughts are just still a little bit wary of what I think of it. Do you think that the crucial matter is? Are we thinking this will then take over and there'll be 100 in Australia?
Look,
India.
That I
No.
don't know. That I don't know. But let me. I said I'd
You know
explain
why?
when I
You
was
know
on.
why it won't be? Because it's not ICC ordained. It's not an
Yeah.
ICC T20 World Cup. You know, it hasn't got that ordination, and that's
Not
probably the
yet,
issue.
but nor did the T20 when it first started here in 2001 or two, whenever it was. We started 20, didn't we? So, but it soon took off. I
Yeah,
said
but
I'd
that
quickly
that
try.
was that was that was that was given ICC
Yeah,
approval pretty early.
yeah, it
I'm
was.
pretty sure.
Although before it started, there was a lot of naysayers and a lot of people not happy. So the success or failure in anything, Norman, comes down to money, doesn't it? And if there's money involved and the
Yeah.
sponsors are there and the TV channels, look, I said I'd explain to our viewers my take on the 100 because people keep asking.
Yeah. Because
And, and
okay, go ahead, go for it.
I'll be very brief. I'm afraid
Oh,
I might be on for just a little bit. The ECB have known in our country for a long time that the county system doesn't work. And what I mean by that is we've got 18, we're only a tiny place, we've got 18 first-class counties, and the only ones that make any money are the test playing venues. So that would be Surrey, Middlesex, Lancashire, Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire, and Warwickshire. Basically, the others all lose heaps of money, and they're propped up by the ECB. The ECB literally funds them to carry on in their existence. They'll lose, as far as I'm aware. Now, what the ECB wanted to do when the 2020 came about, 20 years ago, is they wanted to try and adjust the county system to bring in the 2020 and make it more of a city-based thing. And that was voted down by the counties, afraid that they'll lose their identity. So 2020 takes off around the world. You get the IPL, which is the world's foremost sporting tournament, arguably. The Big Bash in Australia is a massive success. And all of a sudden, what we're left in this country with the ECB have got no major competition that they've got.
so what's the Vitality Blast?
Well, it's the counties play it. It's 18 counties playing it. So it's a diluted affair. So you can't attract the big names because it's such a long-winded affair over such a long period of time. So what the ECB wanted to do, and look, I can be shot down in flames for saying this, but this is how I perceive it. The ECB wanted, on the back of the IPL and the Big Bash, because we don't have a major competition in this country that can attract the big names, is they wanted to get a city-based franchise, a franchise over here. And the only way they could do that is to rebrand into a new format, a new name, new format, with the counties would get on board with. So all of a sudden,
But hang on, okay. But they've called one team the Oval. That's not a.
Yeah.
That's a ground.
Yeah, I know. Well, they've called it the Oval Invincibles. They've got these stupid names, haven't they? London Spirit play at Lords, Welsh Fire play at Cardiff, the Manchester. You've got Manchester. You've got the Northern Superchargers. I think they're from Leeds. You've got a team based in Nottingham, the Trent Rockets. Is it right? You got Birmingham
But
Phoenix.
hang on. But explain a bit. If they've got the London Spirit,
Yeah,
and the Oval's in London, why?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, because it's the capital, Norman, and it's the heartland of there's a lot of people live in London. They put two teams. There's two London teams.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why wasn't one called?
Well, I guess that
Okay.
comes down to money and to how they wanted to do the franchise. So what they've done is they've managed to amalgamate things, and the idea was to attract all the big names from around the world to come and play in a city-based franchised tournament. Unfortunately, COVID put a stop because they did sign up a load of the great players of the world cricket. Norman, it was, AB de Villiers was due to be here. Warner, Smith, was definitely due to be here.
Based on it not being squished in the middle of all other tournaments. The publicity of this has been an absolute disaster. Not there's been a very slick, well-oiled machine this year, yes, but it's been an unmitigated disaster because of the COVID disaster, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, but you've got to give it a chance. It's a massive thing
No, I know that.
the ECB to do. They need it to be a success. They need to have a city-based franchise to match. Well, I say to match, but you understand the point I'm making. To play alongside the IPL and the Big Bash League, and it needs to. They need it in this country, and it might take a couple of years. I think they're committed to 3 years of it. I think that's.
Does that include the 1 year that's already gone?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think that was postponed. So I'm pretty sure that there'll be another 2 years of it. So far, it's gone well, Norman. There's a couple of innovations I like. I've got to be honest. Being able to bowl 10 balls from one end, you haven't got to keep changing ends. That saves a bit of time, and you can keep a bowler on instead of 5 balls for 10 balls. Look, I'm used to 6 balls, and it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's not a terrible thing. It's not awful. You just got to get used to it, haven't you?
Yeah.
A new batter has to be on strike, Norman. Good idea. So if you cross, doesn't matter. If you're out and you've crossed, doesn't matter. New batter's on strike, so the bowler gets bowled at the new batsman. So that's
hang on, let me get that right. If the batsman cross, under what circumstance when a dismissal takes place?
Yeah, for a catch, and in a deep, the new batsman is going to be on strike, no matter if they've crossed or not.
Or if they've run out on the second run or third run.
Yeah, I think as I understand it, the new batsman, if there's a wicket drop, the new batsman faces the next ball, as I understand it. So that's a good idea.
Why is that?
I think they want to do it so that you can't deliberately sacrifice yourself in a run chase to get the batsman who's in on strike. I don't know. It's a little innovation. It works. It's worked quite well a couple of times.
Well, my immediate argument there is, if it's to do with saving time, then it's lost, because that batsman has to return back the other end, which is time consuming.
Well, you've got time when the batsman walks in anyway. It's easy. There's no time really.
Yeah,
got the time.
It adds a bit of confusion. So Prithvi Shaw and Varun Chakravarthi have been given the debutant caps for the T20. Okay. Even though the game hasn't started yet.
The 2020, and I heard you say that India should to mop the floor with Sri Lanka. You never know. 2020, anything can happen, can't it?
It can, but these Indian players are now dead set vying for positions. So they're not going to be taking this lightly. There'll be no experimentation. They'll be the best team on the park for especially the first 2, if not all 3.
They certainly needed that win, didn't they, Sri Lanka the other night? I know India played an experimental side with a few debutants, but this is all important. I know you said it was a dead rubber, but that it isn't a dead rubber, Norman. This is all qualification for the next World Cup.
Very clever. Very, very, very clever. I'm so glad they've done these things where they've made every match count.
Yeah. So
because although Sri Lanka still, India still put their worst, they put their much lesser side in, didn't they?
Well, I don't think India have got a problem qualifying. I don't think England have either. But Sri Lanka, I think, had lost 12 out of 13, and they needed to have a win. They want to be in the World Cup, don't they? So
yeah,
it's there's no dead game.
So you're saying that Sri Lanka were given the opportunity to do so? Were they allowed to? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that India took an opportunity to blood some players and have a look at some players, which is their right. But Sri Lanka will be very pleased that they won the game, because it wasn't a dead game. It didn't. You can't say. No one can say it didn't matter. It did matter. It is points on a table. So it's good.
Okay. All right. So IPL will be given from match.
Massive storm here. No, at the moment it's absolutely hurling down, thunder and lightning and everything.
So Anjul Ingle saying, "Where are Priti, Chris, Tabash's
I don't know if you can see out my window there.
Tabash's is going to be on tomorrow. I've got Tabash's on tomorrow. We're doing a special of all the people that he's met throughout the years, like Usain Bolt and all that. Chris would be on, but his dad's on, by the way. Inglis is his dad.
I'm better looking.
Parker was on only a couple of days ago, and Pretty's got her own channel. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on.
I'm sorry that I'm not as famous and well respected as your other guests, Norman. I think that will be.
Well, you actually have to include your son.
Well, he's a pretty tasty cricketer, though he can come at it from a very
Oh, I don't think it's based on being
interesting point of view, and he's
actually,
certainly
that's an
met.
interesting term. Interesting term you just put. A tasty cricketer. What does that mean?
Means he's pretty good.
Okay, well, I would never have said he's a tasty cricketer. I would have said he's a he's a good player, but the term tasty is the new one. So it's very close to, well, normally they toss half an hour out, haven't they? So yeah. Prithvi Shaw, we're forgetting that he's a debutant. He's been playing so much cricket of late, especially with because he plays so much IPL. When you find out that he's a debutant for his country at T20 level, it's almost a shock because he seems to be a mainstay of so many aspects of cricket that have been going on. He hasn't played. No, he has played a Test match. Let's look at his record, and he's played obviously an ODI. That was only recently as well. So let me have a look what.
I was interested in the Indian warm-up game the other day. I imagine India will be slightly disappointed with the way the game went. Maybe they won't. I would have thought that they would have wanted.
Do you really think? The only thing they'd be disappointed with is saw their players were injured, as in Washington Sundar and Avesh Khan. No one gives a hoot about the score.
I agree with that. That the score is irrelevant, but time in the middle and getting some match practice.
That's
they've got another game coming up. The Test match is Wednesday week. It's 10 days away, so it's not a lot of time away. I mean, if they haven't, does that mean that Kohli, Rahane haven't had any cricket whatsoever leading into the first Test match, apart from the World Cup final, the World Championship final?
Possibly.
I find that absolutely amazing, Norman. And if it comes back to haunt them, if it does, I will come on this show and I will say you got what you deserved, India.
Yeah, but look. In fairness to them, who knows what's been going on because of the reality of with the whole COVID mess. It's destabilised every bit of planning. Even the players that played for that side against the so-called county select level weren't even 11 players because they had to get 2 Indians to play. So I don't have any faith in any of that. I was just going to say,
but Norman,
Prithvi Shaw has actually played. Do you realise that Prithvi Shaw has played 5 tests for India, scored a century in 250s. So he's not brand new to Test cricket.
And who were they against India? Where were they, Norman?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's played.
It does matter, Norman. You know as well as I do that
he played
Bangladesh isn't the same.
He played against the West Indies at Rajkot back in 2018. That's 3 years ago, and then the last match was in Australia against India. Australia.
Are you telling me that 100 in India against the West Indies is going to give him good preparation for facing up at?
No. But I'm just saying he is a Test player. He's already got. He stuffed up in Australia and got dropped.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no, I agree. I just thinking that all the England's Test players are currently playing in the 100 for the first 2 games. So that's a high level competition. I know it's not. I know it's a different. I know it's Test as against the 100, but they will all be out there in the heat of battle, facing good bowling in tough batting conditions, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and if India are not doing no practice, I find it astounding. Thank you for the compliment, Mr. Anju and Anush. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'll tell you why I haven't got much of an ego. If you ever saw me play cricket, you've seen the videos of Norman. Well, that was my level.
That's high. Hang on. There's some great photographs of me recently looking. Okay, match still yet. Okay, Sri Lanka have won the toss and have chosen to bowl.
Okay. I mean, it could be a good game, couldn't it? This is the same venue, Norman, I assume.
Yeah, Premadasa, it hasn't changed.
So the wicket, I assume they can't use loads of different new wickets every time.
No.
So the wicket might take a little bit of spin.
Yeah.
If it does, that'll suit Sri Lanka. I would imagine. Anything could happen in 2020.
So they're bowling first, though.
Yeah, they're going to try and chase down. They're going to. Look, who knows?
Yeah.
2020 cricket is what it is. The reason it's so exciting is because anyone can win. Anyone can have a good day, can't they?
So, okay, that puts the Indian batting lineup in first. And look, the reality is that India didn't bat well in the previous match. They only scored 200 on it. This is the ODI we're talking about. Was the ODI, wasn't it? This is the first T20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the ODI. And they got 220 and Sri Lanka got it. I would disregard that as any indication for. Look at Australia and West Indies. West Indies were thrashed by Australia in the first match, but the second match, they came out and beat Australia handsomely. Worked that one out.
Yeah. But you say that you discount it, but the Sri Lankan side was probably a similar side to what they're playing today. So that's given them more match practice and potentially more form.
Yeah,
because they're playing
the Indian team. I haven't seen it yet. Prithvi Shaw's got a Guernsey. Varun Chakravarti is a bowler. That's an intriguing one because he was not really in the mix, I don't think, to play at this level. So that's
Varun's lively, isn't he? I've seen him bowl in the IPL. I'm sure I have. He's
IPL. No, but IPL we've seen him play. Yes.
Yeah.
But this is not IPL. This is playing for your country.
Yeah. But he's good. He's a good bowler.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not a good bowler. I mean, obviously he's a good bowler. He's playing for his country. There's no. Virat and Rahane have injury concerns, so basically I decided to rest them for precaution. Well, if that's the case, then fair enough.
Thunderstorm here. You can hear the thunder and lightning.
Yeah, I heard the radio rattle, but
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, Arian Malik Chowdhury, I think, is right that there's some genuine injuries to those players that have been rested. So if that's the case, they couldn't have played anyway. So,
no, but Norman, it's his preparation going into a
yeah, but how can a person play when they're injured?
There we go. I don't know. I don't know where they picked the injury up, Norman. Do you? What are they resting by the pool?
Virat Kohli had a back injury. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Virat Kohli had a back injury. Whether or not Rahane's injury was significant, I can't comment because I don't know. But
well, I'm telling you now that if Pujara and Kohli don't have good series, then India are going to have a real problem. Because I'm not. I think Rahane's okay, but I don't think he's brilliant, and I think Pant can't slog like he does constantly in England. He will get a score because he's good, but he will get out.
Okay, just quickly, so Obama Babu, what a name. Devdutt or Shaw as the opener. If we're talking about the Test series, Rohit Sharma will open the batting with Mayank Agarwal.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, and that'll be fairly tough against Broad and Anderson, I would have thought.
Anna Jingle, who's been with us before, Zero Udana versus Shaw, first ODI battle, is back again. Expect some bounces, perhaps. But Prithvi Shaw, despite having a pretty ordinary Australian Test series recently, is someone of quality. We see his batting style. Being a former captain of the under-19s, he will one day be playing, my prediction, 3 years' time, 2024. I'm not sure when the series will be. India versus Australia. If that happens that year, Prithvi Shaw will be playing for India as an opener, and Jason Sangha will be playing for Australia. And
you love Jason Sangha.
And even a bowler.
Josh Felipe as well.
But even a bowler, just they'll both be captain. Okay. All right.
Oh, by the way, Norman, what a lovely game last night. You didn't talk about it. When I went to bed, it was fantastic. I'll tell you what, it's a nice way to drift off to sleep with Australia 45-6. It's a nice, relaxing way to drift off.
They're going to get absolutely smashed in this World Cup. They are going to be horrifically up and down like a yo-yo. Mitch Marsh has had his early little stint there in the West Indies. Now you watch, he'll be on a steady decline. Mitchell Marsh's scores will now go down to a single figure for the rest of the year. He has these little spurts where he does really well, and then for some reason just falls in the heap.
What's the last comment then, Norman? Can we see 2 spinners in England given the... Oh, sorry. Okay, I get it. Well, I can't see the...
2 Indian spinners in England.
Obama Babu. Welcome. I haven't seen your name before, Obama. I hope you subscribe. It's free. Press subscribe. It's free. Look, I've talked about this. I know Munch's talked about this. It depends on the conditions, the weather conditions. In normal conditions in England, you wouldn't play two spinners. India playing two spinners in the World Cup final, Championship final, was a mistake. I know that they're their best two players and they wanted to pick their best side, but it was not the right side for the conditions.
How's this quickly?
Yeah.
I'll go just
That's okay.
the two captains of the toss. Remember how Sri Lanka had won the toss and bowled, right?
Yeah.
Darwin's I'll read out in a minute, but Dasun Shanaka, the captain of Sri Lanka, said the wicket will be better in the second half of the game. Injuries are uncontrollable, but these 3 games are important for the World Cup. We have 2 debutants as well. 3 changes from the last ODI. Izuru Udana comes in, but then the commentator says he forgets the others. It's horrible. Darwin says we would have bowled first as well. Their dampness in the pitch. It's about giving a chance to new players and how they can make an impact for the World Cup. We've got a lot of changes. 2 debutants, Prithvi Shaw and Varun. The Indian team is Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw, so that hasn't changed. Ishan Kishan, Sky Kumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Sanju Samson's in there. Hardik Pandya and Krunal Pandya. Chahar, the bowler,
got a lot of batting firepower there then.
Kumar, Chahal, and Chakravarti. So no Kuldeep.
I mean, that's a strong batting side, isn't it?
They got an incredible batting lineup.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, Krunal Pandya, I'm not a huge fan of it. India have got a pretty damn incredible. Sri Lanka's team is Avishka, Binod Dhanajaya, Azalanka, Shanaka, Bandara, Hazaranga, Karunaratna, Udana, Dhanajaya, and Shamira. So they haven't changed too much. They've only got 2 players different. So
yeah.
But the Indian team is what a batting lineup. They got an incredible batting lineup.
Shubman Raj, welcome Shubman, has said, what do we think of India's two teams A and B squad? Can the B side beat any strong teams as they did in Australia this January? I think that an Indian B side would struggle in English conditions on a typical English summer. Now, we might not have a typical English summer this year. We might have a glorious, 30 degrees for a month. Who knows? But I would suggest that in a normal English summer, it's going to be hard work for any batting lineup in the world, not just India, any batting lineup to place Broad, Anderson, and Wokes in England at the moment, and Wood.
As Chris Wokes. So you're not, yeah.
Now, Wood, he's injured. I know he's injured for the first 2, so don't get me wrong. I just talking.
Who's injured? Chris Wokes, yeah.
Chris Wokes, yeah. In general, Broad, Anderson, Wood, and Wokes are as good as you're going to face anywhere in the world in their home conditions on a typical English day.
I've got no doubt. So,
anyway.
Are you saying that your bowlers, you've got Anderson and Broad, you've got Wood in there, or have you got Ollie Robinson?
Well, Ollie Robinson played very well, didn't he? I mean, there's no doubt it was one of the most impressive Test debuts an England players had for a long, long time. So you certainly wouldn't let anyone down, I don't think. But Wood is out of the 100. He's got a slight niggle, so they've taken him out, and I assume that's just precautionary for the tests. But the thing is with Wood, he will bowl it at 94 mile an hour, and so you've had your swing and the seamers, on to start, and he's going to put it up here, as we used to say. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Maybe not quite what we were saying anymore, no.
But he's going to come and bowl fast. So it's going to be a challenge for the Indian batting lineup, I think, especially if they're inexperienced.
Okay, go back to today's game for a moment.
Yeah, please.
Shikhar Dhawan, Shaw, Ishan Kishan, Sky Kumar, Sanju Samson, Hardik Pandya, who hasn't had a chance to even bat this series.
Norman, you could arguably have that as your Indian 2020 World Cup batting lineup, couldn't you?
Yep.
I mean, Virat Kohli is one of the world's great players, but the way 2020 cricket has gone now, Joe Root doesn't get in our 2020 side, and he's got a strike rate of over 100 in 2020 cricket and averages astoundingly high. But the way Morgan sets his team out is to go from ball 1 and just go for it. And unfortunately, Kohli doesn't quite do that himself. Because he's a quality cricketer. Now,
but out of that batting lineup, Rohit Sharma and Kohli will open and Darwin and Shaw will not play. That'll be the main difference.
Darwin wouldn't make the 2020 side either, but Prithvi Shaw, Kishan, and Sky would, and Sampson would. Therefore,
they're all going to be figuring the side at some stage in their careers. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, but I would have them in the side. And that's why Kohli's moved up the order, of course, because he can't come in at number 4 and push it around for 20 off 20 balls anymore. So he's had to move himself up to open to give himself just that little bit more time, so he's not going to be criticised for strike rates. And I just wonder if India, it might just cost them, because I'll tell you now, England will not be doing that.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Okay,
Pakistan don't do it either, by the way, Norman. Do you see the way they batted?
Oh, Kesha's come to get some more of my viewers to join his channel. Is that what he's saying?
Hello, sir.
You know each other, don't you?
Hi, Keshav.
No, I'm meeting him for the first time.
It's good to meet you, fella. Nice to see you.
Same here.
Don't be sarcastic.
I was just speculating whether Virat Kohli's place in the 2020 side is slightly under pressure now with the way the game's going, for going at it constantly from ball one, and with the talent that India have got, because I'd be wanting to play Prithvi Shaw, Sampson, Kishan, and Sky. Yeah, and that puts a bit of pressure on Kohli, doesn't it?
It does, but I mean, yeah, the reality is that the Indian T20 side, if they don't win their World Cup, they can only blame themselves, really. They are pound for pound the best team in the world.
But did you see what England did the other night against Pakistan in the third game? They went for it every ball. They did not. They lost some wickets and they kept going. There was no consolidate. We lost a couple of early ones. It's just pushing around for a few overs. No chance. Morgan's not having any of it. They are all going out and blazing it.
Mind you, we're talking about the UAE here, and
it's going to be
teams like Pakistan and India come into the fore a bit more, I think. But yeah,
Pakistan will be good, Norman. Pakistan will be good.
Yeah, they are very good. I mean, the IPL, there's no doubt, because of the IPL, India's exposure to the IPL have made India ready for any T20 tournament in the world, I believe. Because the standard, that is a true mixture of some of the best players in the world. It's not just a few, it's practically all of the best players in the world get a go on that, except for Pakistani players. They all get a go on that. And that's, would you agree, Kesha?
2 minutes, Norman. Just give me a sec.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
I was just saying that because of the IPL and the Indian teams and players' exposure, players today like Ishan Kishan, Sky Kumar, even Sanju Samson, and even Prithvi Shaw, that this is either their debut game or very early on, they fit straight into this team like a glove, because they've had IPL exposure at the highest level against the toughest of players from all over the world. Except for Pakistani players, every team, every country's best players end up in India at some stage playing the IPL. So their exposure to that is enormous. Coaching, player-wise, everything. Better than any tournament of a T20 nature. Hence, their preparation for, or their toughness for an IPL moving into a World Cup is enormous.
Apologies. I do apologise.
Correct, Kesha?
Yeah, that's true. But, as Vernon was mentioning about the third T20, England and Pakistan, I know England kept going for it, but I just think that if there were a better opposition against England in that situation, they might have capitalized the situation, or maybe a more experienced captain than Babar Azam. I mean, he kind of failed the tactics a couple of times in that game at very crucial junctions, especially like if you remember the last over when Morgan got out. Jordan and Willie are batting and they still need 4 runs and the field was still spread out. He could have easily put the field up. But that's the issue. I remember there was a ODI, I think, against South Africa in 2017 where England were 20 for 6 and at Lords. And, they of course, they lost that game and Morgan was asked whether the approach that you have of keep going at every single ball. Does this have to do anything with the collapse today? He said yes, but more often than not, this strategy will win us games. And of course, they ended up winning the World Cup as well after that. So I think it's a double-edged sword for them. Particularly about that game, I think a better opposition would not have let England win that game. And coming back to the question whether Pakistan will do better in UAE because they are not as exposed as other teams because they don't play IPL. But I mean, Norman, we had this conversation the other day as well, where I was pointing out that Pakistan has not done that great in white ball in UAE. They have done great in Test matches. So you never know. I mean, World Cup pressure. Who knows what will happen?
Look, there's no doubt that India, England, West Indies, and probably Pakistan are the top 4 sides. New Zealand are there and thereabouts. Australia are up and down like a yo-yo and will find it very hard to do well. South Africa will find it hard to do well. Bangladesh and the like are not going to feature. So that's pretty much the way it's going to turn out. But it's very exciting. I love to get it. I'm trying to work out a way, depending on how COVID goes, to get over there. I'm getting a bit annoyed because we'll see how we go. I'd love to be actually there. It's amazing how many journalists actually got to go to the Olympics from India, as a matter of fact. Like Buria and a guy called Anlava from the Extra Time, and a whole bunch of other people I know have actually made their way over to a lot of Australian broadcasters, journalists have made it to Japan. I'm a little bit shocked, actually, how many have actually been let in because Japan's COVID numbers are not good at all. So,
you said India, England, West Indies, and Pakistan for you. For me, I'll just replace Pakistan with New Zealand, and I think Pakistan will be there.
Why?
See, I gave you the reason the other day as well. So people actually they are underestimating New Zealand, maybe because it's happening in the UAE Asian conditions. But don't forget, 2016 T20 World Cup was in India, where New Zealand ended up beating India in the group game. They reached the semi-finals as well. So New Zealand has always punched above the weight in ICC tournaments, and this time, this is a relatively easier group where you're having India, New Zealand, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. So I would expect India, New Zealand to be a close game, and I would expect New Zealand to easily win against Pakistan and Afghanistan, and of course the other team which will come in.
If it turns a little bit, then that doesn't help New Zealand because their bowling attack is based on their seamers.
But Vernon, if you remember,
it's a major reason why New Zealand. It's a major reason why I haven't picked New Zealand because it's in the UAE. New Zealand.
Yeah, but they do have Ish Sodhi. They have Mitchell Santner. And the 2016 game against India, it was turning like anything, and they had 3 spinners and just 2 seamers in the 11. They had dropped Trent Bolt, for God's sake. So the team selection and the pitch reading was better than India, and they ended up defending 126. So I think if they again read the conditions right and choose the right team, I think New Zealand will not be that easy to beat. I mean, people should cut them some slack.
I think Pakistan will make the final of the World 2020.
That's a bold call.
That's a big call, but I find that one a bit.
I think they're a very good side.
Good side, but don't you think inexperienced captaincy might actually cost them?
No, I don't think so. I think Babar Azam's possibly the best player pound for pound in the world at the moment. That's very arguable, but he keeps producing. No matter how many times people knock him down, he produces.
There's no doubt he's one of the best batsmen going around, but I'm talking about the captain.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily your best batsman is the best captain. It's not the case always.
But I don't think Kohli's a good captain. I think that
at least
I think Rahane should be captaining the England side.
I know. I am with you.
Rahane won't be captain of T20.
No, but I'm talking in general. I mean, I'm talking in general.
I am with you on that. There's this inclination in India as well for some people that they want Rohit to be the T20 white ball captain. But if you're comparing Kohli and Babar as captains, Kohli actually has more experience at least. He captains the IPL. He has captained in a couple of ICC tournaments. for Babar Italy the first one, and for him to be playing directly at UAE, which was supposedly Pakistan's home ground for so long, it's kind of like a home tournament for them as well, isn't it? So the pressure will be high for him to be proving a point there. So I think that way they kind of they were they did something a bit of injustice to Sarfaraz Ahmed by just uh, I mean, Mickey Arthur and Sarfaraz were sacked after 2019 World Cup. But the fact that Pakistan got to number one under them, and both of them never got to have an ICC T20 tournament. They just had a 2019 50 over World Cup. So I think that way they should have been given at least one T20 World Cup. Just like supposedly we would see Virat Kohli getting one. And if India loses this one, maybe next year in Australia you'll see Rohit Sharma leading India.
AP Gunner's made a few comments. He said that
Hello, AP.
He agrees with Pakistan reaching the final. Do you know AP Gunner?
No, but he's a regular.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, I thought he might be English. Okay.
No, I don't think he is English, but if he is, hi, wherever he's from, hi. I have a big thing about captaincy. We've touched on this before. I think a captain, if he can get a team to play for him, a captain is massively important. Owen Morgan is the premier captain with Williamson, I'd say, at the moment in the game. Not overall formats. I think Williamson is a fantastic. And what they both have, and you can see it. I mean, it doesn't take anyone to work it out. Every single player who walks onto the field with Williamson or Morgan backs them 100%. They absolutely buy into all the philosophies. You can see it. You can. Williamson commands it. You could just see it, and we know that's the case with Morgan because he's just done it over a long period of time. And
mind you, Morgan's form in the World the IPL is pretty ordinary.
I don't see it with Kohli. I don't see it with Kohli in India or for the RCB.
But
that's a problem for India.
Why do you think Morgan is not able to translate that international success into IPL success? Because a couple of seasons, I mean, half of 2 seasons he has captained and KKR hasn't done well.
It's interesting, isn't it?
So there's a problem with
the side.
Owen Morgan's problem is at the moment with Brendan McCullum. McCullum has this win at all costs, bash from ball one attitude, and Morgan's different of a captain. There's a distinct clash between the two at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know.
I don't agree with that because, England actually adapted.
Hang on, Brendan McCullum has said it himself. He has said that on air in a press conference that they think differently about the game, and that's caused issues. He said it himself.
Okay, that's interesting because after 2015 World Cup, Morgan actually adapted the blueprint of New Zealand way of playing, the Brendan McCullum style of cricket, and that's how they base their game now.
Well, but Morgan is at odds in this last series. They've had KKR had a disastrous stage in this series, and Brendan McCullum was very openly saying that he thinks differently to Morgan. Morgan was quite conservative in what he said, but Brendan McCullum came out all guns blazing.
Did they lose a few players, KKR? I can't remember. There was a few dropouts.
There's been some changes. There has.
Did that affect the side? It's hard, isn't it? Even as a great captain, to go into a side where you're rocking up 2 weeks before a tournament starts and you're being given a group. What Morgan's done in international cricket, of course, he's had 6 years where the side play in his image, and they buy into his philosophy. And if you don't buy into his philosophy,
I think Morgan might not be available in the second half of the IPL as well because England is going to play Bangladesh and Pakistan.
Siddharth's come on here to tell me that Australia won 7-1 against India in the hockey. Is that right?
Yes. But great result. I mean, you showed why you're the number one side in the hockey. What a display. Brutal. I think the hockey team is giving us back what we all did to you in cricket. I think that was all taken out on the field there in Tokyo.
They're under instructions to belt India because we can't do it in cricket. Exactly.
We enjoyed 46 for 7 last night,
Oh,
wherever
yes.
it was, didn't we, guys?
Yes, yes. But congratulations on your first goal as well, 4/100. Congratulations on that as well.
Okay, we've got Siddharth. Thank you for Vishwanathan joining us with Keshav Huria and, of course, Richard Vernon and myself. Here's a question from Obama Babu. This is a perennial question, but one that's very relevant. Isn't it unfair that a talent like KL Rahul has to adjust for a spot in the team, even when he is selected, he has to fight for his spot. He opens sometimes done before. It's true. There is an element of him having to struggle. It is a pity, isn't it? Would you all agree?
Well, anyone who's ever played cricket will know you have to battle for your place sometimes, unfortunately. You've got no God-given right to be in a side and to be anywhere. If you do what Milan did for England over the last year, he basically made himself undroppable. It doesn't stop all the media saying that they don't think he's going to make the 2020 side. And he's the #1 rated player in the world still in 2020 cricket. And I'm telling you now, the media here think that he's struggling to get in the side.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it, that a player that's so-called #1 in the world can't get the side? It's mind-blowing.
But you've got no right. I mean, KL Rahul's a fantastic player. But if he drops a little bit of form and Kohli's causing a problem for the Indian 2020 side, isn't he, opening the batting? That's what I think.
I think the team should come first. If KL Rahul fits in the team's criteria, wherever the team wants him to bat, he should bat there. Player is not bigger than the game itself. So I don't think we should accommodate players according to themselves. We should accommodate them according to the team's need.
Well, that's obvious. But if you've got the best player in the world, it's not about what the team wants. It's the player should be in the side. That's a slightly different story.
I think the question was regarding the test matches. So in test matches,
Milan's #1 in the world for T20.
Yeah, no, so KL Rahul. The question for KL Rahul was based on test matches, I think. And
he was right. Okay, we're mixing up the questions here. We moved on to Milan there for a moment, but we'll go back to Rahul. Okay. The reality is Rahul, I'm not saying he should be in the side. I'm saying it is bad luck that he's not, because he certainly hasn't badly performed at that level. His biggest problem...
Norman, I think in test matches, it's not bad luck. He was given a fair run. He opened in England as well. In Australia, he failed. He lost his place. And then now, if he has to regain in the middle order, you would wait for somebody to maybe, if somebody gets injured or somebody's out of form horribly, then only he'll get his chances. It's not right to say it's unfair to him, because he was given a long run in red ball, and in white ball, I think he's more or less there in most of the games for India.
Okay, I'll accept that. But the reality is as well, KL Rahul has now got a mixed message, because he's now keeping in the short format. And he's becoming a choice as keeper, which means he competes with punts and others in that place as well. Because in Australia, he was selected initially actually ahead of punts to keep in that series.
But do you think? I don't think after punts resurgence he'll be keeping any more punts. Places are given in white ball format as well now. I don't think.
No. But I'm just saying to you, when you're selected in a position, because KL Rahul was never selected to play for India as a keeper. He was a batter. Full stop. It's only been in the recent series that his keeping has become more important in the short format. But that starts to pigeonhole players. Players get to get pigeonholed in the shorter format, even if they've played Test cricket. It becomes confusing. Maxwell's another example. Chris Lynn's another example. Chris Lynn and Maxwell should have been Test players, quite frankly, but they've got lost in the way because they started to become more prominent in the short format. KL Rahul was probably a long-form format player more so, and has now got lost in the short form, and now is being confused and pigeonholed. That's the reality.
Don't agree with you, Norman, on Maxwell or Lynn. Lynn was a late developer, if I'm right in thinking. He's only come into the form in recent years. Maxwell, I don't think was ever going to be a Test cricketer.
Oh,
By the
you
way,
mean he's played Test cricket?
Well, of course he has, but he didn't do any good, did he?
Well, I don't think he was given enough chance.
who?
Okay.
Maxwell was not given. He wasn't. He was never given a complete series to play. And I can assure you, if Maxwell was given a longer chance to bat in the lower order for Australia, he would have been as significant as what Andrew Simon should have been for Australia. I don't
By,
think. I think,
by the way,
especially now with Australia's horrible performances overall in all formats, they are lacking a lower middle order batsman of quality. Travis
by the
Head's
way,
gone.
guys, on a side note, Prithvi Shaw got out on a golden duck on his T20 debut.
Yes, I just saw the comment on that. I haven't got the feed on. Yeah.
First
That's,
ball
Yeah,
from
that's Norman's
Chandigarh.
commentator's curse. Norman giving him the big build-up.
Well, I gave him a big bill up for Test cricket. I didn't talk about his T20 form. I actually don't think he'll play for the T20 team. He'll play Test cricket eventually. He's short form. He's got a few players to knock out of the way, but he's probably more likely to play Test cricket first.
Siddharth, do you
Yes, he has.
think that Prithvi Shaw's got a chance of getting in the Test team when he gets over here? He obviously can't play in the first Test, but do you think he's got a chance? Because I think it's going to be hard for him in Tests in England.
No, I think his technical deficiencies have been exposed.
Yeah.
We keep pointing even on air in that series against Australia. They exposed his weakness. It will have to take plenty. He'll have to do plenty of work on that. Only after that he'll get into the Test squad. Maybe with the absence of Shubman Gill, maybe in this England series we'll find out whether Rohit Sharma has got a viable opener. But if he doesn't, then I think only then Shaw has a chance. If another opener really does well in England, then Shaw has no chance.
So, Siddharth, are you suggesting that?
And guys, do you know that the IPL schedule is out?
What?
Say that again. I missed it. Sorry,
The
Siddharth.
IPL schedule is out.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Mumbai Indians are
The
playing.
IPL
CSK.
schedule is out.
Yeah. Mumbai Indians are playing against CSK. Siddharth, just quickly.
19th September to 8th October.
Yeah. The going back to the Test match on August 4th, Prithvi Shaw won't be playing there. It'll be Mayank Agarwal opening with Robert Sharma, I would assume. Correct?
Yep.
And can you confirm a few other things?
Although
Shubman Gill has returned back to India, correct? And is it Prithvi Shaw and is Prithvi Shaw going to England directly from Sri Lanka with Padikkal, or is he going with Sky Kumar?
I don't think so, because there is a lot of confusion created by the BCCI. Everybody's secret about it. No one's wanting to reveal who will be the replacements that are going to England. They say Jayant Yadav might be one of the players in England. But for whom? Because Avesh Khan is out. And that's why Jayant Yadav is coming in. That's what I hear. But there is no official press communique from the BCCI saying that these are our replacements. I don't know why is the secrecy. Pant's coronavirus case, they announced it 8 days later.
Yeah.
Oh, what is
Okay, so Gill has already returned.
Everything so late.
But Gill has already returned. They must send an opener over there to replace him.
And we didn't know about it.
But
I don't know why they are hell-bent on creating confusion and chaos and silence. They do that. The BCCI and the media management there do it.
They almost seem to have this.
Now you know why we cannot get access to the Indian players.
Well, yeah, because they feel as though they are so far above, don't they? They wield so much power that they can not be honest with the Indian public, it would seem, and talk to them as though they're intelligent, cricket discerning people. You're right about Pant. They kept that quiet for 8 days. I mean, I imagine it was leaked in the end. They probably didn't want to say anything at all.
But look, Siddharth, Prithvi Shaw will be going to England to replace Gill. I'd say it's pretty certain.
Yeah, he'll be one of the backup openers. Because apart from Mayank Agarwal, you also have Hanuma Vihari as a potential opener. He did well in 2018.
He's
in
a nice player,
Australia.
Bahari. He's a
I
nice
don't know
little
why they're
player.
not using Bihari a lot more.
And the other player, there's another opener.
Pardon, Richard, I didn't get you.
Is Amara? Is Awara? Who's the other
Abhimanyu
fellow?
Ishwaran.
Yeah. He's also there.
The problem
Ishwaran.
they've got, Norman,
He's
is
there,
that
but even he got laid low with coronavirus.
Yeah, but he'll be out pretty if he's not already. I mean, what's his name? Rishabh Pant's out. He's out of his quarantine, so the other fellow will be out before too long. But okay, Siddharth, just quickly go back to today's match. I've just noticed that Sanju Samson has got in first drop. I thought Ishan Kashan was going in first drop. It looks like they put Sanju Samson.
Yep.
It was Prithvi Shaw's debut.
One
so
hopes that
was
he
his,
fires finally after 6 years.
Well, he did play well in the ODI, didn't he? He played pretty well in the ODI in that last match.
Yep. Gave them aggressive starts. But again, I don't understand why you have to play all the members. You have to play them all. Why can't you settle on a team composition?
I agree.
Just because you win a series doesn't mean that you give everybody a chance. I mean, I'll tell you why. You are talking about the KL Rahul conundrum. It was because of the Virat Kohli Ravi Shastri policy at that time. Horses for courses. That totally decimated KL Rahul's confidence and his skills. Keep a couple of games, keep KL Rahul. After that, drop him. Drop Manish Pandey. Take him after some time. Your number 4 was never sorted. They continue to do that. So why on earth do you want to keep on chopping and changing for the heck of it? You want to be ruthless. And imagine, I mean, Reg and Norman, I mean, I don't know if people will agree with me or not. But the series could easily have been 2-1 to Sri Lanka. Not 2-1 to India. We are all exhilarating, oh, Deepak Chahar did it. But the reality is dispassionately, if you have to look at it,
it's close.
Very well have been 2-1 to Sri Lanka. And we would have, Arjuna Haratunga's the B team comment would have become 2. We were that close to doing it. We are that close.
The biggest disappointment for me was when they put 6 players or 5 debutants in the last match. That was a bit of a disappointment for me. That was too much of a change. And they lost accordingly.
Yeah. It also reeks of taking your opposition too much for granted. Oh, let's get all debutants in. Let's get all of them. You saw what happened. This can very well result in a lot of loss of momentum, I'm telling you. You're adding to the confusion. You think just because it worked in Australia, it will work everywhere else. No. In Australia, it was forced. Here, it was not forced.
What happens in England-Pakistan in the one-day series? England had to put in a completely different side, 11 completely new players, won the first 2 games. So the third game, in essence, would be what you call a dead game. Didn't change the side. Played exactly the same side all 3 games. Took it completely seriously, gave the same side all 3 matches and won 3-0.
Exactly.
Exactly what Siddharth's saying. It was a shame, I think, not to give a couple of others a go, but I understood why they did it. Continuity is massive in cricket. You know what it's like. We've all played the game. Keeping a regular side together, keeping the team spirit going. It's massive in cricket.
And you don't want to make players think that, everyone should be given a go at being given a game. That's garbage. That's disastrous to have for players, including India for that matter, and England. So for them to start thinking, hang on, I'm part of the 20-man squad. I deserve at least 1 game. No.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it seem to be precious.
This debate takes on a different twist in Australia with the rotation policy. Remember, the rotation policy. There was so much hullabaloo. Stark plays 1 test, he's rested for the next. Injury management, workload management. Isn't that also a sign of disruption of the continuity? That's where the struggles began.
That's why Australia. not
Sure,
perform.
you need to preserve your body, but
When you speak to Mike Whitney or Jeff Thompson, and you say
look
this,
at the chopping and changing, what it has done to Australia.
they want to play every single. If you're the best player, so you want to play every single game you can.
Yep.
And that's the way it should be. You're there until you drop, really.
I
But
mean,
they've got this.
Richard, if I have to look at it in a 5-test series, if I have to look at a 5-test series, the Ashes, would you rotate Anderson and Broad? No, they would want to play all the 5-tests.
Yeah, they probably will
it's the
rotate
Ashes,
them.
it's a series.
I think
You
they
wouldn't
probably
want to
will
chop
rotate
and change
them.
regular basis your two frontline bowlers.
This could be the last series for them both to play. We just don't know, because James Anderson could break down over the summer and never play again. We just don't know that. Their careers, they're within a year, I reckon, of finishing.
You know, Broad's 4 years younger than Anderson.
Yeah, but he's also played.
He's only 35, I think, Broad.
Yeah, but that's still too old for bowling at this level, though. Richard,
Anderson's coming on 40, isn't he?
Yeah, but hang on. You've been knocking the West Indies for that now.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think Stuart Broad's too old to be playing Test cricket. Forget Anderson. Broad's too old. So
well, now Norman, there's a comment. It depends. Surely it depends on performance, doesn't it?
Bowlers, I disagree. Batters, you can hang around a bit longer, but bowlers, you definitely need to be under that age, honestly.
But if he's performing and they're knocking sides over and going great guns, then you've got to play them, haven't you? You can't just not pick them because you say you're 35 years old. Really sorry, you took 7 for 2 last week, but really sorry.
No, you're not getting my point.
Well, you're saying he's too old.
But also, a player should leave on a high.
Yeah, but
a player should leave on a high.
Playing on merit, isn't he?
A good player, a legendary player, leaves on a high.
Yeah.
You cannot guarantee that Broad and Anderson will continue to play on a high.
No. But they both are making themselves available for selection, and they both merit their inclusion at the moment. I promise you, they won't be picked as soon as they drop off on form. Look what happened to
Broad. But hang on. You just asked my question. But hang on, you just asked my question. They shouldn't be waiting till they just drop off form. That's not what you should do. Shane Warne could have played over 5 years.
How do you judge it? How do you know when they're not going to start performing? You can't know until they've done it.
No, you're not getting my point. A player who's broken, I think Anderson's very close to breaking every record possible, right? He needs to realise that's a high point in your career. Okay? And he should have dignity to leave at that point.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Even though he's got a couple of games more in him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But
because I'll tell you what, Shane Warne could have played for a hell of a lot longer. So could have a lot of players that I can mention. Michael Hussey could have played for years on. Probably Alistair Cook could have played a lot longer.
The thing with Anderson is he is tremendously fit. If you speak to him and you watch him,
it's not the point about being extremely fit.
But his bowling hasn't gone downhill, has it?
Yeah, but he has to leave on a
high. Off a bit.
He should leave on a high. Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you now that he's going to make himself available for this winter in the Ashes. And if we were to win the Ashes, which I don't think we will, but if we were, I would suspect that he would retire. If he becomes the leading seamer in all time in Test cricket, I think he's nearly there, isn't he? He's got maybe Courtney Walsh to overtake.
I think that's it, really. Unless he's hoping to overtake Morley and Shane Warne, which he's not going to do.
He's not going to go. No, he's not going to come in. And then that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? A spinner to a seamer. No, but if we were to win the Ashes, he may announce his retirement.
Yeah, but Dennis, I've got to go through a lot of players' names. Dennis left on a high. Okay. Viv Richards left on a high.
Did he?
Sorry?
Jeff Thompson didn't.
Jeff Thompson?
No, he didn't leave on a high. I remember Thompson coming over here in 1986 or 5.
Yeah, but he kept playing. You know what? The truth is about Jeff Thompson, he kept playing because he needed money.
Oh, well. I remember him being a very...
Okay. But I'm talking in general now that Anderson will be best served, in my honest opinion. I would think that he'd be better if he had a great series against India now, to leave at home and a big hurrah at home. I know there's Nationals coming up, but
It's not going to happen, Norman.
No, but I'm talking about what I would do. Okay, I would hate to see him have a bad series, either the series after or the series after that. I would hate to see that.
Yeah. He will not be retiring at the end of this series. He might not be picked for if he has a bad series. They might drop him, but he's going to make himself available. And I don't
someone of that stature should not be dropped. He should be leaving on a high.
Yeah.
You understand my point?
I do. Yeah. He can. Yes, he has earned the right to open his own exit door.
Yeah.
Rather than be pushed through it, he's earned the right. But I just think that he wants to play on, Norman. Let's see how he goes. Let's face it.
I think Ian's got a good point. I do like the look of the game. Sanju Samson is 10, not out. Shikhar Dhawan's on 8. The score is 1 for 18 after 3 overs. It's not exactly a big pace game. For a T20 match, 6 overs is not exactly huge. Sri Lanka must be.
What time is it? I reckon you're about 1:30 in the morning.
12:48.
12:48. You need your beauty sleep, Norman.
I doubt it. But I'm just going to say, we can certainly be. I agree. We can get close to ending there. I agree with that.
We just had the most tremendous storms here today. Last 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's big rain. Big rain. Might have to get out and do some work at some stage.
All right. Well, we'll end with the fact that India are 1 for 18 with Shikhar Dhawan and Sanju Samson.
Well, I hope Sri Lanka win the game. And I say that not because I dislike India. It's because I want to see Sri Lanka starting to come through back into world cricket. I don't like seeing Sri Lanka. I think they're fantastic to watch. And they offer a lot. And I love the country, by the way. I'm lucky enough to have been to Sri Lanka. And I think it was a fantastic place to go to.
It certainly is, but they have a lot of players out that should be in this team.
Yeah.
Kaushal Pereira, Mendes, Dickwella,
and Matthews.
Demuth Karunaratne. There's a few players that are not playing here at the moment.
Yeah. Arjuna Ranatunga.
Well, if the West Indies can play Clive Lloyd, then what you're saying, Arjuna should play. he never ran anyway. He just needs a runner.
What a player for people who.
All right, well, you go.
Lloyd.
You go. Reg, you've been here. We've been here almost 2 hours. You take a break. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for. Of course, the Test series is coming up in a week or so, which is going to be huge. I'm expecting you and Munchie and Chris, Simon Willis, all will be on deck for that. That's a big one.
I'd love to join you. Thanks ever so much, Norman, as always. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Rich.
Cheers.
Ciao. All right, guys. The game started, as you know. India are batting after Sri Lanka won the toss and decided to bowl. 1 for 24 after 3.5 overs. Sanju Samson's on 10. Shikhar Dhawan, as always, is there. He's on 14. Unfortunately, pretty sure we're going to get out to a good ball. Nick just shows he's a good player, to be honest. That's the reality. So please, those that are online, please view, like, and share my posts. And please, if you're there, you're not subscribing, please subscribe. It's very disappointing when people watch and don't subscribe because it just helps the channel, to be honest. And that's one of the biggest things I can ask for. And of course, the World Hockey, Australia beat India 7-1. And quite a smacking, but that's all right. His look says that Samson is his favourite batter. Well, that's great. And he's on now, so that's good. And looking solid. He's a very solid player. There's no doubt how solid he is. No doubt about that. So best. He looks great. He's a long-termer, so I was pretty sure. Give them a chance, guys. They'll make it one day. In all formats. And I was pretty sure it's debutante match, so that's pretty good. All right, guys. It's probably time for me to chuff off. We've been live for almost 2 hours. We've had quite a response. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. The game is worth watching. 1 for 29 after 4 overs with Shikhar Dhawan on 18 and Sanju Samson on 10. Prithvi Shaw got out first ball, caught behind off by Barnaker, bowled Chimera, the fast bowler, and he got a very good outswing and he nicked it. Can't do much about that when you're in, in that situation. To nick a ball when you're opening up is a sign of, some quality. Absolutely. All right, guys. Sanju Samson, let's go well. So play well, guys. Hopefully India win this first match. They should. If they don't, let's be a bit of a shock. All the best, guys. Thanks for your time. I'll talk to you soon.